It's your girl Beauty87 here, and today we're gonna do a battle of with two of the latest new matte foundation that's come out that I've tried. So I got the soft matte complete foundation, and then I got the Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation. So I wanted to try them out against each other. I did already put the concealer on my face. I used the shade Toffee from Born This Way to cover up my dark spots, as y'all know. And then the primers I used was this Wet n Wild one. I'm just trying to finish it up real quick. And then the NARS, the Neutrogena matte one that's supposed to be a dupe. That's supposed to be a possible dupe for the solid one. I have a video about that if you're interested to put up above. So I'm gonna try out the two concealers that they have too. So as y'all know, this is what the foundation is based off, this concealer, and then I have this peach concealer. So I figured we try it out in the video today because I like to put the cream ones underneath the eye when I first start off my makeup, and then later on I put on other ones. So I had two different brushes to use. So I'm gonna use this one for the Too Faced one, and then we'll use this Sigma one for the NARS. If I remember correctly, if you all saw the video, I did not like this concealer, but it's fine just to put underneath the eye before I put on all my other makeup. So that's why we're gonna go ahead and do it. Plus I'm gonna do it with the NARS side. So I figured since I had this one, we should do it with this side too. Oh God, this mirror is so goddamn dirty. It's just gross. As you can see, its color is like kind of light, and I feel like it's a little pink based. When I first got it, I didn't feel that way, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's because I got this concealer on to cover up my dark spots is why it doesn't look the right shade to me. But you know, whatever. I just need to remember which brush is which now, because I feel like that's gonna be the struggle for me. I'm gonna struggle, but it's like which brush should I put on me? And I can smell a strong peach smell underneath my eye right now too, y'all. It's crazy, but you know, take the sponge and. And remember, y'all, this is the Too Faced side, and this is gonna be the NARS side. I don't know why I'm trying to remind y'all. I'm the one who probably gonna need to try to remember that. But the color I have is Nutmeg in the Too Faced concealer, if anybody's curious. And y'all know, in this one, of course, I have Almond. And I put eye cream underneath the eyes before I started. And I feel like that concealer just blended away once I put the sponge underneath there. So maybe I need to add a little bit more. Okay, yeah, that's better. Because when I first sponged it, like, it feels like all the coverage just disappeared there. Okay, yeah, that works now. So I'll put it underneath there, sponge, flip it on the other side. Maybe the sponge is just too wet because I feel like it just did the same thing with this concealer we just put on. So I'm gonna just take the same brush and put some more brush under there. Okay, so now, as far as foundations go, I think I'm going to start off with the Too Faced one. So this one retails for $40, and it has 1 fluid ounce, if I remember correctly. Yes. So I'm gonna just start off with 1 pump since I have put what do you call it? Concealer underneath the face. Hopefully I don't need more than 1 pump. But if I remember correctly, when I did put concealer on, I still needed 2 pumps. But let's see. Since it's half my face, I'm hoping we can get away with 1 pump. But the way my cheeks be looking sometimes, y'all, I don't know. Okay, I'll take the rest of the back on sponge like I normally do. Okay. And what I liked about this one is it gave a pretty natural finish. Only thing was, like, throughout the day, I felt like it wasn't as matte as other matte foundations I owned. So I will put the link up for the review of this foundation, or I'll put in the description box if I don't have enough links to put for the video. But I thought it had a nice finish. I thought it looked nice on the skin. It does give more of a satin finish though than, to me, like a matte. Unless it's supposed to be like a satin matte finish. But as you can see, it looks nice on my skin. Like, it looks pretty close to skin. But also remember in that video that this color is a little different than the color of the original one that Jackie came out with. So just bear that in mind. It's going to be a little off. To me, this one looks a little more orange. But again, if you want to see more details on this one, you can go watch that video. I'm just giving a little tidbit that's coming off the head that I remember as I'm putting it on, for those who have not watched that video yet. So this is what the face is looking like with the Born This Way on. As you can see, it gives a little bit of a shiny satin type finish as opposed to a, you know, true like matte finish. Now the NARS one has 1.5 fluid ounces, so it gives you a little more than the average 1 ounce, and it's the same price as the Too Faced one. It's $40. So I like the fact that you get more product, and it's a cheaper, I mean, yeah, it's a cheaper price for NARS, I feel like. And comes, I believe it's supposed to come in 40 or 48 shades. I don't remember how many shades the Too Faced one comes in. But I noticed that NARS usually tries to keep their signature roster on. I think I'm going to need to put out a little bit more than NARS on, just because I don't feel like I pressed out as much as I did with the Too Faced. But since it has a pump that does it on its own, you know, that's why it was a little bit easier there for me. And you know, just going to work with it the best we can. So turn it around like that, because we'll have to use that part. Okay, I have a new flat top to use this with, so let's go ahead and get started. One of the things, I feel like the NARS one is lighter than the Too Faced one, so I'm gonna be out here like with a more yellow undertone on one side of my face, because yes, I do have to go places today, so yay me. I was gonna go to the 50% off sale of the Salvation Army today, but I'm like, I don't know. Depends on how I feel after I get done eating stuff, because I want to do some more filming today since I have an extra day of filming. I don't have to go to work, because I know when my son gets home, he's going to try to get mommy to like watch a movie and all that stuff or whatever, because school that starts late tomorrow. After Labor Day, they start at 9:30 instead of at 8:30. So yeah, but as you can see, this one looks more like a true natural matte situation. And this one dries from like a liquid to a powder. So there's that too. So I feel like this one looks a little smoother and like more naturally like skin as opposed to the Too Faced one. Not that I don't like the Too Faced one, because it looks nice once you add all your powders and stuff. But I feel like initially when you first put on the NARS one, it looks nicer than the Too Faced one does. Let me know what you all think. This is NARS and Too Faced. So I feel like the Too Faced one just looks a little bit nicer when you first start off. I would just put one color down the middle of my nose. I'm gonna tell y'all now, I'm not gonna try to switch it up and fix it. I wear the color Maple in the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. So if you want a shade that's a little bit deeper and a little bit closer to your skin tone than this one is, I recommend that you try the shade Chestnut. That's the shade Jackie and Andrea Renee use in this concealer. I like this shade, so this is what I use. Like, but we all wear the same color in foundation shades for the most part. So if you want a recommendation on another shade as opposed to the shade that I use, you can always look to Andrea Renee or Jackie Anna. I think there are other people too. Those are the two people that I usually look forward to when it comes to recommendations. So that's why I made sure I told you about those particular people. I'm gonna take Walnut from NARS, and only thing I hate about the NARS one is I feel like I have to dip back in a lot in order to get product out again. As you can see, the tones of the NARS one's a different one. I don't know if it's because NARS was an actual makeup artist and then he started his own makeup brand, why I feel like I like the tones of his stuff better and like some of the formulas of his things better. Not that Jared doesn't do a good job, it's just, you know, I'm liking the way the NARS side looks better than this one. I feel like this side looks a little like orangish, if you will. Like I need to put like a yellow color corrector in. And I'm gonna just take NARS in the middle of the nose. Like I told you, we're not gonna try to figure out which one to take down the middle of the nose. So, since the Too Faced one has been on the longest, I'm going to blend that one out first. So, this mirror is so dirty, y'all. If y'all could see it, you like, what in the world? Okay, about the part where. And I do this just because I want you to see as we go through, like, how the makeup transforms and which side you think, you know, looks the best once I get done doing, you know, all the stuff I normally do to my face, as opposed to you just hopping up at the end and seeing it and tell me what you think then. I like you to go through the process with me, because I'm going through it so you can see what it looks like as well as myself. So I feel like you should be here watching it, not just me, you know, doing it and then pop back on camera at the end and then you didn't see any of what was going down. It's gonna be a little difficult to bring out the NARS side just because I gotta flip the sponge the opposite way, because I use this side for the Too Faced side. So you see me on the struggle bus for a little bit while I'm doing it, and that's why, because I got to turn to the opposite side, and it's easier obviously to use it on a flatter side than it is to use it on the opposite side. So, and I think I'm gonna put the second layer underneath my eye now, so that way when we get back to this side after we done blending all this out, we can just do that, and then we can just blend out the NARS side and go on with our day. So, trying to save as much time as I can, because I still need to try to do an eye look before I go pick up my Labor Day feast. So, we got the concealer we needed over here now. And let's get the blending on this side. So, start off. As I told you, I'm just using backless sponge to blend out all this. So, here we go. And it's crazy because I can still smell the peach in the sponge from when I blended it underneath this eye. And that was like 10 minutes ago, y'all. When the video first started, I blended, and we had like 12 minutes now. So it was like, wow. The extent of that smell is real. I hope nobody looks at me too crazy when I go cook up my food, because, you know, my face is two completely different colors, but, you know, who knows? Crap, I was also spreading out with this brush first. Let me. And now, continue with this one. And with the NARS side, I can't use that much powder, because then the face will look cakey, because it's a liquid to powder formula. So it's like I have to be mindful of that too. So that's one of the things I don't necessarily like about the NARS one. It's like I have to remind myself not to use a whole bunch of powder, whereas with the Too Faced one, I can just powder my face the way I normally do. So that's my only gripe when it comes to that. We're going to put the concealer on this side now too, we talked about, so that way when we get done blending that one out, at least this one has had a little bit of time to sit on the skin. And then we're going to go in with our powder, which is going to be the Too Faced Born This Way setting powder in translucent medium, the yellow one. Because y'all know I love me yellow powder. So I'm going to mainly try to focus underneath the eyes. And I'm going to use the Too Faced foundation powder to do the rest of the face. So I'm going to use this Too Faced powder underneath the eyes. Sorry, this one underneath the eyes. And then the foundation powder on the face. So I'm going to lightly put it on this side, because like I told y'all, it's liquid to powder finish. And then we're gonna just powder my face the way we normally do on this side, because if you all remember the video, this one got really oily even though it was powdered. So I don't want to not powder it. And then worse, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury. Wait, no, I'm going to use the Hourglass Veil Setting Spray to see how that helps it. I noticed though, whenever I use the Charlotte Tilbury one, my face isn't nearly as oily as it is any other powder I use. So I'm thinking maybe I should just go ahead and use that one to help the foundations out as best I can, both of them. But when I used it with both, when I used it with this foundation, I felt like my face looked way better. Or I might just use both setting powders. Like I'll use the Veil to set the powder down, and then when I finish my face, then I'll use the what do you call it? The Charlotte Tilbury on top of the Veil. So I think that's what we're gonna do. But as you can see, this side looks much brighter and lighter, and I feel like closer to my real skin tone, whereas the other one I feel like makes me look a little bit darker. And again, it's not to say it's a bad product, it's just when comparing them, those are my honest thoughts. So But as you can see, this side looks much brighter. This side looks a little bit darker. But in all fairness, this foundation isn't the same shade as it is in the original Born This Way. So I'm thinking that's why. Because I like the original Born This Way just fine. The shade Jackie created is beautiful and like melts into the skin. It looks like my skin. But since, you know, this is a different formula, they might have had to use different pigments and things, which I'm thinking is why it doesn't look the same. Because this does not look the same as the other one at all. And I didn't even use it that much. But it's like when something is your exact skin tone, and then you have to use something else behind it, you can tell the difference. And I can tell that this is not my skin tone. And I think I heard Neon MUA saying that they were getting rid of some of the shades that Jackie created. And I'm like, okay, so what's the point of you making her creation if you just won't be like, oh, okay. The foundation trend is over of being inclusive now, so we can just get rid of those shades because they're not selling as well as the other shades. I don't know if that was it or like what, but I'm like, I find that bogus. Like, you made her take all this time and work in it to make it seem like you looked inclusive, and then you getting rid of all the stuff now. It's like, what was the purpose then? Because it seems like it's just like we trying to look inclusive right now because of, you know, that's the popular thing to do right now. And now that that ride is over and everybody's on to bronzers, we're going to do that. But you still haven't made any bronzers for anybody that's darker than medium tan. So if you're trying to jump on all these bandwagons, why don't you try jumping on that one? Because the bronzer I have to use now is from NARS in Casino. As y'all can see, I've hit pan because Too Faced doesn't make any bronzers for anybody who's darker than medium tan. But that's okay, because NARS got me covered. I find everybody should be pretty damn inclusive. Now, what the bronzer he came out with this year, the matte one, it still never came to Sephora and my shade. So I do have questions about that. Like, where's it at? Is it ever gonna come? Like, what's going on with that? Okay, powder brush. So I'm just using the same powder brush all over my face just because, you know, like, why not? It's not like it makes that big a difference. I'm trying to find a brush to put it on with. Hold, please. Yeah, I'm gonna just take this. BH Cosmetics is from the Take Me to Brazil collection, or maybe Take Me Back to Brazil. I don't know. And we're just gonna lightly powder this side of my face because, like I told y'all, this one is liquid to powder, and I feel like this side of my face looks powdery and looks like it has more powder on it than the other one because, you know, it's a liquid to powder. So we're just gonna put powder all here and on your nose real quick. Okay, so this is what the face is looking like after foundation. I feel like you can't tell as much now, but I still feel like I can tell that this side of my face is a little bit lighter than this side of my face, but it's looking better now that I have added powder to it. At first, I was just looking real, you know, orangish on this side, and the satin finish is going down, so I'm go ahead and spray it, squish it in, and then I will check in with y'all later on today to see how they wearing. Yeah, so we're using the Huda spray. I actually really like this spray. I like it better than the first spray she had. That one was not the best at all. But yeah, we're just gonna spush all of this in to make it look as natural as possible. Because I find, because it's a liquid to powder, and I have been putting a little bit too much powder on each time, because since I have oily skin, you know, powder is my friend. But it's been looking a little powdery. So I'm hoping, because I put minimal powder on this side of my face today, that it'll look a little more like natural and soft mattish like I wanted to, as opposed to a little bit more powdery than, you know, like it normally does. Okay, there's one more thing I'm gonna do on camera with y'all, and then I'm gonna go do the rest of my face off camera. I got the Charlotte Tilbury powder that I normally use to blur underneath the eyes, so we're gonna put that on real quick, and then I will go off camera, and I will see you later on today, probably with the eye look on, because I'm gonna do one of them after I'm done doing my face. And yes, I do have a full size. I'm trying to wait a couple of weeks to pick up the new colors that they have, because they have a color in tan, and it looks like they got rid of dark, and then they have a color in deep. So it's like I want to try those on our face and see how they like work all over the face, because since she's only had this shade I'm using now, dark forever, it's like I can't put this all over my face unless I already have other stuff already on it. I just don't trust the setting powder all over my face. especially with some foundations that are like too dark, because it's like this weird beigeish, grayish type tone shade. I just wouldn't trust it all over my face. It's fine underneath the eye area because you know you want that to be bright and yellow, but just as a general rule, I wouldn't just put it all over my face. So now I am done with the face. And remember, like I said, NARS, Too Faced. I will be back a little bit later. Okay, y'all, so I've returned. It's not in the location I had planned on being in, but here we are. So everyone is running all around my house. So like my son's in my mom's room asleep. I'm in his room right now filming because my grandmother decided to take herself in the kitchen and take a nap instead of just, you know, bringing herself in here where she sleeps, which is my son's room, just to go to bed. So here I am in the middle of the floor. If you were old school follower, then you know this is where I used to originally shoot. I would shoot right up there. You can see my little dresser. Not much has changed on it. I mean, I moved a couple of things, but not a whole lot. Anyway, to my face. So I tried this new really super colorful look that I was inspired by the Fancy Face to make. Just use a whole bunch of different colors as opposed to like the 2 or 3 I normally use. So it turned out okay. The orange up in here and here when you watch this video for what's it? For the palette mashup of this palette and the, what palette is that? The Juicy Boost and the Vivid Shadows and Pigments palette, you'll see the struggle that I went through to halfway make this look halfway decent. But you know, it's cool. We're here for foundations. Let's talk about that. So if you all remember, this is the NARS side and this is the Too Faced side. The setting spray I feel like helped both of these tremendously, because normally I feel like they look way more oily, or maybe just because it's coming in the fall, you know, I'm not looking, it's not as hot outside, so I'm not having as much difficulty with that. But I feel like the face is looking, you know, pretty nice. It's worn pretty well. If I had to pick one though, I would honestly pick the NARS side, just because I feel like it has more of a golden undertone, and I feel like this one has a little bit more orange than it does golden. So if I had to pick between the 2 foundations, not to mention the NARS one gives you more product. Not that I need any more product. I have probably 20 full size bottles of foundation that I've reviewed for you all, so it's not like I need any more product. But I'm just saying, if you're one who looks at that and doesn't have nearly as many foundations as I do, I feel like that's important. The fact that they give you 1.5 ounces instead of the standard 1 ounce, and it's the same price as this Too Faced one that is 1 ounce. I like both of them though, so I'm going to continue to wear both of them, in addition to the Rare Beauty one I tried yesterday, which was Memorial Day. I mean, sorry, that was Sunday, that you'll see Tuesday. Today is Memorial Day. But yeah, I'm liking both foundations look. It is, like I said, it's 9 o'clock, so I've had it on for close to 8 hours. It'd have been 10 o'clock if I did 8 hours, but you know, I feel like this is good enough. So I like how my face looks on both sides. But if I have to pick, I pick NARS. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.